Hi everybody, Jonathan Moore here, learning specialist from Parley Wireless, TELUS Mobility on Innes Road in Ottawa. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, so I figured I would show you all an unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy Note with the 5.3-inch screen. Here it is here, and as always, as you can see, my device does in fact say Learning Center device, not for resale because it is here for me just to do demos with for you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and unbox this on camera, and then again we'll pause it. I'll plug in the battery, power it up, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the features and other stuff about the phone. So you'll see as I open it up, the box size is around the same size as a normal phone box, maybe a little wider. It definitely does not belie the size, the massive size of this phone. Here's the phone here. It is a 5.3-inch AMOLED screen. You'll note that if I take it looks fairly maybe normal in my hand if you're looking at it, but if you look at this phone, which is the Nexus S, which is my normal, my daily driver right now, you'll note that it is significantly smaller, and this phone is big. It almost looks like I'm holding this one much closer to the screen and this one further away, but that's actually not the fact. You'll see that I would have to hold the phone about 5 or 6 inches in front of the box for them to look about the same size. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what's in the box. So we've got obviously the phone taking up 90% of the front of it. You've got the stickers all over it telling about the HD screen that's on it and a bunch of information which we will go over at some point. I guess there's a IMEI sticker to go in the box in case we did want to sell it at some point. I don't know why. Remove the tray, and again, like most Samsung phones, it's very simple inside. You've got the manuals in English and French. You've got a Cube charger, again very similar to the Apple charger. I have mentioned this before that Samsung really does like to, I guess, to mimic Apple's design in many things. You've got their standard USB cable, which is actually not too bad of a cable. It's pretty good quality. You've got different size gels for this in-ear headphones, which I must say, I really do like these headphones with the Apple earbuds that always fall out of my ears all the time. And then the last thing you've got is a battery. And now this battery is ginormous. It's a 2500 milliamp, which is almost 13 to 1400 milliamps bigger than a standard battery that we get from most phones. You're looking at about a 1750. That's 1500 to a 1750. That's about the standard battery size you get with most smartphones. So this is definitely a much bigger battery. Hopefully that actually translates to more life instead of it just being the normal length of time from normal phone just because the screen is bigger. Anyway, I'll know a little bit more about that as I replace my Nexus and start using this one as my daily driver. So anyway, let's just pause this right now, and we'll come right back to this after I've powered the phone on. Okay? So I'm back after getting the phone assembled. We'll remove these protective screens from here and from the rear. I will say one thing that's really weird. It seems like Samsung has this penchant now, definitely with this phone and with their Galaxy Nexus. The phone requires a real lot of pinching down to get the covers on properly. Takes a really long time, really finicky. It's not as difficult as it was with the Galaxy Nexus that I assembled in the past, but again, I'm not really too keen on the clips that I feel like they're going to break if I'm taking the phone apart a lot, which I tend to do anyway because I'm always swapping SIM cards. But so anyway, that's in there now. Let's do a boot screen together. So we can see the boot screen. Let's see how long this takes. So it is running on TELUS's new 4G LTE network. Now LTE is supposed to give you 100 megabits throughput. We are advertising our speed at 75 megabit as the max, but really you're not going to see that. You're going to see maybe 15 to 20 if you're lucky. So let's just go ahead and get this started. So I'm going to connect to our Wi-Fi here, and then we'll be good to go. So I will say one thing, the phone does come with swipe. The keyboard is really large. It's almost too big to type on, maybe. They made the letters very big, which is kind of interesting, I guess. I'm definitely going to have a little bit of a better time typing on this one than I do with some of the other phones. And that's one thing where I've always liked the iPhone, is that the auto correct and the touch recognition on it is phenomenal. It really is the best. Now I will say that I'm running a ROM of ice cream sandwich on the Nexus, and it is much better. It is definitely getting a lot closer to where we want to be as far as Androids and keyboards. So if you are waiting and holding out and being like, I wonder if ice cream sandwich is any good, I'll tell you, it is definitely, the keyboard is much, much better than it was under Froyo. So I'm going to go ahead and just go into this and sign into my Google account so that we can get moving on the rest of this demo, and I can talk a little bit more about some of the things that are going on with this phone. I am really kind of stoked to use it. For the longest time, I really didn't want to use it at all. I felt that it was going to be really big, and to be honest, look, when I hold it up to my face, you can see that it takes up like 90% of my head, which is, I've got a big head too, so you will notice that it felt large in my hand. I was like, I don't think I want to use this. It's really big. Then I went on Samsung's website and I read a whole bunch about the phone and some of the things that it does over other phones, and it has some neat technology under the hood. So I'm actually a little bit more looking forward to using it. So let's just let me just get this in here. I hate putting in these passwords. There we go. So it looks like that's going to work now. There it is. And now we are finally into the phone itself, I believe. Just finishing the backup and restore process on the phone. Taking its sweet ass time, probably because I have a large number of apps that it wants to install for me. Set up 24-hour clock as I always do. Keep everything separate. So now we're into the phone. There we go. So again, like any other Android phone, fairly responsive. It's got a dual 1.4 gigahertz A9, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of nice. It's got a pretty decent size. You've got an 8 megapixel camera on the back, which is gorgeous. You've got a 2 megapixel on the front, which is a little bit better. Most phones have a 1 or a 1.3 on the front, so that's going to be nice to try. It comes with a standard 16 or 32 gig storage. I'm fairly sure that most of the offerings offered by most of the providers are going to be looking at about the 16 gig version. It does also have the ability to insert an SD card as well, which is nice. I think Samsung's doing the 1632 honestly to compete with 1632 gig iPhones as built-in storage. Most phones that are Android don't have built-in storage. The Samsung all do. Again, that's a little bit of a nod to the Apple standard. The screen is an 800 by 1280 800 by 1280 pixels. It's a 5.3 inch screen with about a 285 pixel per square inch pixel density. Now, as per comparison, the iPhone 4 and the Galaxy Nexus have the 318 to 320 DPI, PPI, which is the pixels per square inch of the iPhone. That's pretty much the Retina screen display is 320. So this is 285. It's a little lower. I can see when I power it on and I get close up. You really can't see, honestly, the pixelation. These AMOLED screens, the HD ones, are pretty close, to be honest with you. I am very happy to say that it does have the Corning Gorilla Glass as well, so it's going to be very, very strong and very difficult to scratch or to crack. I mean, obviously, if you drop the phone full on, you are going to break it, but for the most part, you should be okay. Now, it does have a couple neat things that this phone has. That, first of all, as you can see here, I do have a stylus in my hand. It is the first phone in a long time to bring back the stylus, per se. You know, phones always used to be touch-based. Now you need capacitive screens. This pen is actually designed by Wacom, who designed a lot of tablets and a lot of touch-sensitive pen input devices, which is nice. It does have the little button on the front here that actually activates the pen. It has 128 levels of sensitivity, so you can do thick and thin lines depending on how hard you push. There's actually a little pressure sensor in here that knows how hard I'm pushing, which is kind of neat. It has pen gestures as well, so you can slide to go right or left, or back or forwards in websites to move up and down and stuff like that, scrolling. And it has palm rejection, which is kind of neat. Normal capacitive styluses like this one don't have palm rejection, which means when you're writing, you can actually rest your hand right on and write just like a normal notepad, hence Galaxy Note, and it won't actually recognize your hand once this is in contact, which is kind of neat. So that's pretty much the basics of the phone per se. I'm going to give it a bit of a daily run, and I might post another video to give you a little bit more information as to how it might perform in the future. Let's grab this really quick and let's see what this looks like when we get a new note, just to show you how this might work. So you can see here, it's quite responsive, which is kind of neat. But I really want to see what it looks like with the different pen settings. Let's go to brush so we can see how that works, and we'll go to black and we'll see how that works now. So now you'll see as I'm writing here, if I push harder, it's not really doing it. Oh yeah, it's a little bit lighter. Let's see if I go into the thickness, if that's going to help a little bit more. Now we'll see if we type, as I push thicker and thinner, you get very much like a paintbrush. So actually, this is going to be a little bit of fun, actually, to try. So anyway, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to go play with my new device. You guys enjoy, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And as always, you can always follow me on Twitter at ParlayGuru. You can also check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/ParlayWireless. And go ahead, fan us, leave a comment about the video down below, or on Facebook or on Twitter. I look forward to seeing you guys around, and if you're a TELUS client and you do live in Ottawa, or even if you're just visiting and you're a TELUS client, come on by the store and you can have a free session with me, the learning specialist here. You can always email me as well. It's John, Jon, at Parley Wireless. That's Parlez, wireless.com. Thanks very much, and as always, enjoy your phone.